Aloha, and thank you for joining us on this conference call. It's been a little while since we've done one, so I want to see. Well, for starters, let's go ahead and drop in still point. Everyone, take a nice breath in, and at the top of the breath, just simply stop. Hold. Feels kind of like holding the breath, yet don't hold the breath. Let the breath keep going like it does when you rest. Breath does its own thing. You stay in space between the breath and simply rest here. Great opportunity right now on planet Earth. There's a lot happening. So as I have said for years, every chance you get, take a moment and reset. To me, still point is literally throughout the day an opportunity to retreat, to withdraw from the outer phenomena, outer things that are going on, and simply take our attention and pull it back from all those things. The yogi I learned from would say that everything in this world, everything on this plane, everything in this world are wanting your attention. Whether it's the advertising or the news or the people around or the sales situations or the television or the food or literally everything here is it's a play that requires people to put their attention on it, which is great. It's a blessing to be here, and yet it's also, to me, super refreshing every so often to kind of slow down and simply reset here in still point. Good. So I want to in today's call focus mostly on training for the new technologies that we've developed and launched recently. So it's also a good opportunity. We've been getting a lot of questions about the technology. So I'll do another introduction to the new Scalar Alchemy portal tuning system. And in particular to the Scalar tuner and also the new Scalar charging plates. So, and then I want to also, we have people getting their new technologies, and so I want to kind of simply go through a little bit of training just to kind of start to get people oriented in how to use it. Now, this call, as I'd say always with all of our trainings, retreats, calls, everything, this is a great opportunity to use the products you have. So if you have the new technology, take it out. If you don't have it, you have a laser, take it out. If you have Lotus, take it out. If you have Wi-Fi only, take it out, turn it on. If you don't have anything, use still point, which is, to me is the true technology. All the other ones are secondary. They're all things on the physical, right? They are things, and not that things are for folks that have been to our retreats. I want to simply clarify: I'm not against things or against things on the reference. The background that I have is that the yogis I learned from were very clear that things here in the physical world. Also in the other layers or levels are transitory. In other words, they're coming and going. So what that means is it's like the weather, right? Something it's here and then it changes and then it's here. Physical things are always in the process of You know, they change into the next situation. And same thing with emotional or astral, and in the yogic view, the next layer is the astral, and then the psychic, right? Those are in the old season. We're entering a new season, so these aren't even that relevant yet. These older layers that are been going on for people in the previous age, physical, these different things are coming and going. And so to me, I am perpetually drawn in my life and in my journey to looking for, well, that's nice. These things are nice. It's nice to enjoy them for a moment. It's lovely that we have these blessings, these gifts here on this lovely planet, and yet I am very drawn to the subtle state. The yogis say the subtle state goes beyond the physical, the emotional, and the psychic, right? So that subtle state, that to me, still point is a state that is not fixated to those more transitory states, which is why I perpetually, everyone take a nice breath in, stop right at the top. You can do it at the top or the bottom of the breath. I do often at the top. Hold for a moment. Feels like holding the breath. If you're new, hold. Feels like holding the breath. Don't hold the breath. Relax a little bit. Let the breath keep doing its thing on its own like it does. It's really good at doing that. You don't have to do it. Breath is good at doing it on its own. And then you rest here in space between the breath. In this state, I learned this from Yogi, and this is, to me, a key reference for anyone who wishes to begin to develop and cultivate their subtle condition, the condition that is not always in the in flux, in change. To me, this is the greatest challenge our people have. People are perpetually getting whipsawed around, and their attention is getting pulled into all these different plays and things that are going on here, which is all right. This is a great opportunity that we have to come here and participate and play in this fantastic thing, planet opportunity. Yet it's not good if it takes everyone's attention and then people are left worn out and like that. We have to. I also got impression that this is a very rare and special opportunity we have to have the human body and to have this gift of having the human body on this rare planet. And so we don't want the things to pull us in every direction, wear out the experience, and then the body's worn out and like that, right? It's not so. So good opportunity today, as with all of our trainings, retreats, seminars, our retreats, and the calls, everything we do, to, hey, let's take a moment, let's again drop in still point. You don't have to do the breath. You can if you're new. Take the breath in, stop at the top, hold, let the breath keep going, yet rest here in space between breaths. Great opportunity. All we're saying is hold on to all these outer things. Hold on. We'll be with you in a moment. Right now, we're going to bring our attention back here. We're going to bring our attention from all those things. We're going to withdraw our attention from the outer phenomena. We're going to withdraw our attention from the emotional things that, to yogis, even the emotional things that people go through, the psychic things, those are outer to yogi. It's not only the outer physical, outer things that are outer. The emotions and the psychic are outer to the intrinsic subtle condition of being. And so in still point, we're saying, oh, hold on, we'll be back with work or people or food or coffee or news or work or any outer thing, your house or things you have to do. We're saying all those things, hold on, we'll be right with you. We'll be back in a moment. And we bring our attention back here, and even to emotional things that might be going on in one's life. Or psychic things, plans, things that are going on. We're drawing our attention, and we're going to rest here simply in state of being. This is what I adore, and I try in my life. When I was younger, tried very hard to walk away from things in life and to simply meditate and spend life in that type of format, and yet I was pushed by people I trust to that I had some things to do and had to. So I said, oh, thank goodness there was this blessing of still point, so that I can do lots of things and continue to pursue my interest in the subtle yogic state of being. And thank goodness these amazing opportunities of technologies and things that we can make to help assist that process. So that's what we're going to do today. And in particular today, we're also going to touch on, if you have any device, I just put something on to quantum. I usually start people on Unwind. Unwind is usually really nice. For me, you can start, and the thing you want to look at for folks that are new, when you use any of our technologies, all of our technologies have the same underlying principle, which is they induce unwind. My background's in cranial work and also in yogic things, and everything that we make is designed to unwind the cranial rhythm with our unique scalar wave technology. Our scalar wave technology is unique. Other scalar energy not any other scalar that I've come across is designed to gently unwind the cranial rhythm and to induce a very subtle condition. We designed this technology to induce unwinding of the cranial rhythm, clearing of contractions, polarities, cell memories, or karma, anything that's kind of compressed and linear. We want to gently unwind until we arrive here in still point. If it doesn't put me into still point, I don't make it. And I don't come out with a new technology until there's some new orientation to the technology. In other words, it's not necessary to keep making things that do the same thing of putting in still point. Each new thing has a slightly new orientation of what it is offering to us. We make them for us to use first, and then we share them with people in the network. But we make things so that when we have consideration of, oh, that would be nice. So this new technology is particularly designed and good at opening up what I refer to as the lotus state. The lotus state. And it also is particularly good at activating higher spinning ether ormus. And I'm going to touch on this as we progress here in terms of what it does, how the technology works, and then how we use it. So for folks that have been with us for a while and have been to our seminars and retreats, and everyone again, take another moment, take a nice breath in. Stop at the top, hold for a moment. The more you do it, you don't have to do the breath. For me, it's like a lens on a camera. I simply kind of it's like focus. You just turn, you just modulate it a little bit, tune it until you're here in still point. All right, good. So a lot going on. Before I jump in on the technology, let's do a little clearing. Let's do a little process. Only as a result of there's so much going on our planet. We have been through so much as a people in this past, and to me, I see it. I want to kind of have a reference, and from how I'm looking at things, and then we'll do a process, and then we'll jump into the technology. So, for starters, for me, I look at things from the perspective of the seasons. And I've been saying for years we are on the cusp of a new season. We're entering into a new season. And when I say that, I don't mean it like, oh, it's some superficial. I mean it literally like the physics of the planet, right? When the planet is close to the sun, it's summer. When it goes far, it's winter. Then it changes, and the physics change in a season shift on the physical level. Well, on the other levels, our star system is moving through the galaxy. And when it's far away from the galaxy, there's a certain physics. When it transits and moves into a different part of the galaxy and closer to the center, and this is mapped out by the Mayan, by the Hopi, by the folks in India. All the ancient peoples have mapped this. They call it shift of the ages. So if anyone is not clear about what I'm referring to, check out Shift of the Ages, which is a reference of how others have referenced it. All right, so as and to me, the key referential shift between the old season age that we're leaving and the new season, that the old season and the new one that we're arriving into, is the shift of the dimensional physics. And what I mean by that is, in the previous age, it's like it's like a microscope, right? If you're looking through a microscope, you're looking at something and it looks one way. Well, if you change the lens, the perception, the lens, you're looking at the same thing, and in the next moment, everything looks totally different. To me, that's akin to what happens when ages shift, right? So when an age shifts, there's a change in the physics of the aperture of the lens. In other words, the universe is flowing through different galaxies and star systems and arriving at this place here on planet Earth. And when the age shifts, those physics change in terms of what's happening in the experience. And so from my perspective, we're entering into a new season, and as a result, the physics have changed. So it's important, from my perspective, to be clear about what's happening. And the way I see it, we're getting more into the new season physics. And so what I mean by that, but one other reference, which is to me helpful, is that in many ancient traditions, esoteric traditions, they have a reference of the flood, right? The flood, and the flood happens generally at each shift of the seasons. And so to me, a lot of the ancient traditions don't translate it properly, and the word in India that they use is pralaya, which means dissolution. And to me, it's more appropriate. It's not a flood of water that happens at the end of each age and the beginning of a new age. It's a flood of new energy, nonlinear energy that's coming in, that's dissolving all the old dimensional fixations, all the old structures that organized around. In other words, so the planes might set, the different levels and dimensions might set up a certain way based on the physics, and as you enter a new season, there can be a whole new flow form of how that organizes and orchestrates. And so we're right in that from my perspective. There is a massive influx of energy, and what that means is that the outer world is kind of getting very accelerated and amplified. So whatever's going on for people is getting amplified and accelerated, and in addition, the old season energetic patterns are kind of vying. It's kind of like when you do a cleanse, a parasite cleanse or a cleanse, right? Things can get worse before they get better. Well, that's what's happening right now. Things are been very, very strong this past year, and the way I've looked at it is, this has, to me, been a opportunity. I have been wanting to do more inward retreat for years, and so I simply took what has been going on as an opportunity to be more in quiet and more in reflection and more in the intrinsic work. And so I always, anyone who's been to our seminars, retreats, I always try at least once a week to take a day and to be quiet and to try to do some retreat. Every day I try throughout the day to take 5-10 minutes here and there to drop in still. And I want to encourage everyone to make sure throughout your day you pace with how much you take in, and you reset, use the tools, use still point. It's super easy. Heck, look, right there, we're holding still point. Notice that condition is how I try to go through my day, where I rest and abide in this state. Now I don't need to say, oh, drop in still point. I don't have to drop in still point. I'm resting and abiding in still point. See, we can't hold this state. It's hard to hold this state if you don't decompress and clear the blockages and things that were going on from the previous moment. So actually a great moment. Let's everyone take breath in, stop at the top, hold right here, and take a moment and just envision one of those laser sabers. If you have a laser, you can do it with laser, or lotus, or if you don't, envision a laser saber. And we're just going to go around the outside of the field. First, as you're resting here and you're holding in still point, allow your field to start to open up a little. The quantum field, the energy around the body. Now envision the laser saber, and we're just going to clear from any cords, any blockages, any holes, clear from any people, even loved ones, clear from everyone. We're not clearing from them for good, we're clearing from any polarized energy that might be threading up. People like in the old age to link up through the chakras. And for the new season, the nonlinear state, that doesn't help people to stay nonlinear if they have energy streaming through their lower chakras with other people or any chakras. So clear from anything that's gone on. Clear from the last year. Clear from all the stuff that's gone on. Clear from all the news. Clear from all the big issues that have happened. Clear from any views you've had. Clear from any views. Clear from any views at all. Clear from everything. Clear from the previous season and the structures and the patterns and the program, the things that have been pulling at you from the previous season. Good. And you can keep doing this. We don't have to do it. You can do this, work on this later also. For now, just do it right there. I dropped in still point. That tells me, okay, good. That was good. That was good clearing for now. Good. All right. So also, as you're doing this, everyone go ahead, do one, squeeze the root at the base of the spine. It's a muscle at the base of the spine. We call it the root. Squeeze it in. It's the same muscles you use to go to the bathroom. It's the perineum area. Squeeze in gently and then out. And then squeeze in and then out. And squeeze in again. And now, in between the in and the out, hold it right in the middle. Gently, with care. Hold it. Feels a little bit like holding an egg. Not yogis say, Taoists say it's like holding an egg. Not too tight or you crush. Not too loose or you drop. And hold it right there. And right when you find that right neutral, for me, right away I feel energy flowing up the spine. We call this the activation. Energy starts flowing up the spine. Tongue at the roof of the mouth. For the ambrosia, tongue at the roof of the mouth. You might notice some saliva start to come. That's the nectar, the ambrosia, the DMT, the subtle compounds in the glands and the cranium that yogis and mystics tap into and open up. Squeeze the root again, in, out, and then hold again. Good, and energy starts to go up the spine. This is the reference to all ancient systems, the medical symbol, the nadis along the spine, the staff of life. These are all references to this flow of energy up along the spine. To me, people are either having their energy come down the body and out through the senses and out through the chakras. That's where the attention comes out and then it goes and gets mixed into everything. Or they're saying, well, hold on with all that, and they're taking a moment, still point or whatever, however, to say, well, hold on, we're gonna withdraw the attention. This is withdrawing the attention. We're reversing the sensory currents to the root, up the spine to activate the glands, the ambrosia that kick this subtle scalar energy, neutral energy, is what purifies. It's what opens. It dissolves all the structures. It dissolves all the old pattern, everything. It dissolves it, purifies, activates this nectar, and then it opens up to the lotus at the top, the lotus. This to me is the key for these new technologies and for where we're at right now on our planet and on this sojourn into this new auspicious moment and season. Don't assume from all the outer discord things going on that there isn't significant opportunity on the subtle and inner, in the subtle areas of possibility. And to me, this is key. Opening and cultivating this in the same way that I share and show how to drop in still point throughout the day. Throughout the day, I don't only drop in still point. I drop in still point. I clear the field. I make sure the quantum field's open. I start to activate the neck, the energy up the spine, the sacred root, and the energy up the spine. And I activate the ambrosia and open the lotus. To me now, I'm resting, opening the lotus, and resting and abiding in lotus state as much as possible. Why? The lotus state, to me, opens and infuses being throughout our condition. And it brings qualities like bliss, like peace, like love, like happiness, whatever those subtle qualities are that are unique for you. So to me, this is huge. And also, the more this lotus state stays open, it starts to root the energy and up along the spine and stabilize. So very, very important right now in these technologies. One other thing before we shift into the technologies, everyone kind of drop back in still point again and reset and allow this lotus state to permeate one's field. Similar to how in the old season the body was the primary apparatus for people. To me, the new season, I look at the new season as not only a physical orientation here. So in the previous season, the physical was the main focus of orientation for most people here on planet Earth. And people weren't so connected to who they were outside of the physical. New season, to me, is a nonlinear, only physical-oriented season, opportunity. And as a result, to me, I look at for me, the primary faculty of coordination, of experience for the new season is the subtle situation, the lotus state, the still point, the quantum field, the lotus state. These, to me, the lotus state, many systems refer to it as lotus body. I totally perceive it as a body. So the lotus, I call it lotus state. Lotus state is to me more appropriate body or state or reference for who I am, for who this experience is, in coordinating through the new season in and from, if that makes sense. So very important right now, and there's so much stuff going on, and people are trying to pull people into different things. There's all kinds. I do not go into any kind of things like that. I am here. I'm very clear. Be very clear who you are, why you're here. I'm very clear in every moment. I am here to help bring in this new season and to help assist in expression of being in this new season, fullness of being. And so anyone who's coming to me, telling me something or some other, if I don't see or can't tell, there's some subtle states of bliss or some qualities that are relevant to the work that I'm involved in, I'm not that interested in any data, information, anything coming to me. Or even old things that are from the old season, different approaches or teachings or different things or whatever. If it's from the old season, I'm not that drawn to it, simply because to me, we're in a new season. I am drawn to not that those things aren't relevant in the old season, though. So in the new season, we have to be the ones to bring in an authentic fashion the new structures, orientation, and expression of being. So good. Everyone drop in right there. So use that. Look for the things. If you're hanging out with certain people, if they're not if notice which things you're doing, whether it's food or where you are, or who you're hanging out with, or the work you're doing, if it's not helping you to feel those, to open to those that subtle state of being, the bliss, the nectar, the peace, the love, the happiness, the subtle quality, the wonder, the subtle qualities, then either shift and find people that are more akin to or the work shifts to you trying to help assist those people to the state of being. Otherwise, what can happen is people continue to get pulled into the old season, the inertia from the old season energy and patterns that are going on. Don't go in that direction. Clear, reset, drop. Everyone drop in still point. Clear, reset. Open up to the intrinsic state of being, the state that is beyond the physical, the emotional, the psychic, the subtle state of being. Good work, everyone. Okay, so shifting gears to, and when you're using our products, for anyone turning on the products, and this applies to using our products, but this is also the same approach I take to using anything on planet Earth, is if I do something and it's having an effect of that doesn't feel good, I shift, I do something different. And I look for the things that are where I take a breath, a sigh, where I start to drop into still point, which is none other than dropping into the subtle state of being. It's similar. So when you're doing a program, if you put the laser on, or you put the portal or anything, you put it on, you wait a moment. Does it give you that still point response? Does it induce a shift from physical linear to nonlinear? That's what we're looking for. And we're, in particular, the new Scalar portal alchemy tuning system is, if you've been using quantum, you could try Activate, try a different program. See, the Scalar alchemy tuning portal tuning system. It's an alchemy system, and there's two parts to the system. The first part is a handheld piece called the Scalar tuner, or portal. I call it it's a portal and it's a tuner, and it is made out of a beautiful metal. It's like the violet probe, a little bit different color, it's similar, and it is a handheld. It is absolutely exquisite. Everyone who's gotten it. It's exquisite. It came out so beautifully, and it literally emanates scalar energy without even. It's fantastic, and it has a LCD. If you're familiar with using our laser, it's very similar. It has LCD. It has the membrane switch, the key panel. It has the same plugins. It actually has an extra probe connector, so you can run more than one output at once. It has 4 LEDs, violet LEDs at the top of it, which were designed initially as indicators, yet I put the scalar effect in it. So it has a beautiful, when it's on, you can simply use it when it's on, like the Wi-Fi. It puts off scalar energy naturally, when even there's not anything plugged into it. It feels really good. It's beautiful. It came out really beautifully. So that's the tuner part, and I just changed the program to Unity. If anyone's using, and it feels really nice. So that's the tuner part, and the unique part about it, to me, it came out looking ultra beautiful, refined, and it literally came out more than I was expecting it to. It's really special. So what's in addition to it is the programs in it. The programs make this. There's some very unique research in the inside the program, in the software. Everything seems the same when you look at it. When you go into the different, when you hit launch, and then you go into from launch, the next section, where it used to be Essentials as the first one, we now have the first program. There's some new sections. The first program is called Yogic. And the Yogic section, to give a reference, these programs are very much akin to the Still Point Yogic practice for people that have been to our retreats. These programs are designed to assist in the subtle. In other words, in the old season there was the body, right, and people understood wellness oriented to the body. I gave you a reference a moment ago that, to me, in the new season, the reference that I'm working off of as my kind of body, if you will, is the lotus state. And so well-being wellness from the orientation of the lotus state is, to me, relative to the subtle yogic practice that I've been sharing for years. And these programs are oriented around that purpose of assisting in wellness from the subtle Still Point Yogic approach. I'll say one other thing about the whole Scalar portal tuning system before I go more into the portal. The whole system, or the tuner, the whole system was designed so that, not as a medical device. This is not a medical device like our lasers. This was really designed as a alchemy system to basically tune anything that one is using in their life. Say you're using shampoo or soap, or you have crystals or food or water or supplements or tinctures. Or say you're going to paint your room and you want to scale or charge it. You want to tune or whatever you're using in your life. The goal with this technology is to put it on, to turn the portal on, plug it through the charging plates, and to tune, first to clear whatever you're working on, and we'll get into that, to clear it, and then to charge it with scalar energy, and most important, to activate the subtle ether, the subtle ormus, to activate the ormus in the ether of everything. And I'll touch on that in a little bit when we get into the plates. So the orientation of the portal is as a tuning system to basically tune anything that you're using in your life around you, so that the things that you use in your life are assisting in the process of the orientation of the subtle yogic state and the lotus body. So the programs, when you go into the programs, and these are not linear, so I want to kind of make sure it's not like, oh, you do this for this, or you do this for this. It's not like that. It's not like, oh, here's the description for this is what it does. It's not like that. I'm going to give you today a simple, gentle reference of the layout of the different program, the different areas of that we have in there, and then using it, you simply use it, you put it on, you kind of open and see, does this having the effect of dropping in a still point and opening up that lotus. So the first section is called Yogic, and the Yogic is a lot like the Essentials section. I mean, it's not like it. It's like it in that there are 11 programs in the Yogic section, and they're ultra subtle and special, designed around the yogic tools. Like the Essentials have different ones that kind of do slightly different things to assist in the physics. These are all ones that are designed to induce bliss, to activate the energy in a gentle way along the spine, and to dissolve and unwind, but in a subtler way. We call it dissolve. So they're lovely programs, and I suggest for people that have, simply turn it on, pick one, and kind of see the effect that it has on your physics and condition. If it feels good, keep going. If it doesn't, if you're not sure, you can't tell, turn it off, pick a different one. Some moments people are open and right for some, and later on you come around and then the other one opens up and seems great. So that's the yogic section. Really, they're very special. The the research that went into this was significant, and this is very authentic. These are nothing like any other frequencies that are out there. They have no connection to any other sets of frequency research or approaches. These are totally authentic strategy. We don't only modulate frequency, we modulate other facets of the light to induce. We're really using this as a tool to assist and shift dimensional variables and tuning them to help us to be more conducive to the work of the subtle state of being. All right, so the next section after the essentials is the lotus section. The lotus section are not as many programs. They're designed to open up and assist in the opening of the lotus at the top of the crown, the lotus. And these are key in terms of developing, and as this is in the lotus body, in the lotus state, and this work, opening lotus is key to cultivate, and these are designed to assist that. The next section is the ambrosia section, and these are designed to help assist in opening and inducing the subtle nectar in the glands. Many traditions say that when the lotus, or the crown of the lotus opens, it simultaneously opens. There's an alchemy that happens in the glands in the cranium, and that induces the nectar, ambrosia or amrita, or the nectar. There's different names. Secret of the Golden Flower is what some traditions refer to it. I call it often the ambrosia. Even as I'm discussing, notice you put tongue at the roof of the mouth, you might notice a little saliva. That saliva, when you do subtle work, is loaded, according to yogis, Taoist mystics, with supercharged ormus and nectar. So the programs in ambrosia are designed to help in coordinating the glands and helping assist in activating and inducing that nectar, that ormus, that ambrosia. The next section we call the roots. The roots are designed sort of along the reference in the yogic. I've often in different seminars and calls along the way discussed the bonds. In yogic, the yogis refer to the bonds, or the root locks they call them. And so you have chakras, you have plexus, and then you have the bond, or the root, the nerve plexus. And along the spine there are these different bonds. And they're key because a lot of people have compression. It's kind of like a knot. And if people are compressed along these bonds, these root areas, then they can affect people and keep people posited towards certain chakra plexuses, and as a result towards certain patterns, certain emotions, if people are hinged up around one plexus in the body, particularly if it's not the heart or one of the plexuses, then you can have emotions and patterns and views and different dynamics that are relative to that plexus. And part of the challenge on our planet is people don't have there's not a coherent overview of the whole system and the larger, vaster reality that we are inextricably a part of. And so people have the reference that they're the body, and so the whole situation is relative to the body, and when the picture is much vaster and larger than that, and not only pertaining to this moment here on planet Earth. And so everyone take a nice big breath in, stop at the top, clear. So really important to reorient, dissolve, and neutralize these bonds, which I call we call the roots. So the next section after the roots is we call the layers, and the layers are somewhat relative, not entirely, just like with the last one, to what what the yogis refer to as the koshas. In the yogi view, they refer to koshas. I've discussed this also in retreats and other calls. And the koshas, it translates to sheath. The koshas are the sheaths, or some traditions refer to them as bodies made up of different levels of matter. So you have the physical body would be the kosha, or the sheath for the physical matter. Then there's another layer, according to yogis, that has to do with the astral, or that layer. And then there's another one and another. And you have these subtler koshas, or sheaths, which in this approach we are referring to as layers. And so again, it's not our approach. This is not like, oh, this one's for this layer and this one. It's not like that. These are designed, there's a new season emerging, as I've mentioned. And my view is of even these older systems and orientation are not, as the new season emerges, there's a whole new dissolution of like everything that's gone on in the previous age. So just pulling up the previous age, even a yogi teaching, to me, it's not relevant, right? We have to arrive at a new orientation that's relative to the expression. Everything that I do in the work that I do, the yogic work and the technology we develop, the processes we do, it's all based on direct experience. I'm not taking this from anyone who told me, hey, this is how it is, or I didn't read it somewhere. I'm literally doing things to see what is the effect. If I don't like the effect, well, I don't do that. I shift and I try something else until I come out with something that's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It seems to help. And then if I use it and it helps, and I use it on people around me and it helps, then I offer it as to the network and as something that, hey, this seems to work. But again, as I always say, don't trust me, don't believe me in any of this stuff, right? This is not. We're past the age of having someone tell you how it is and you doing it. And to me, we're past that. This is where you trust your own experience, direct experience. You try what I'm saying. If it makes sense, try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, throw it away. Don't use it. Good. Rest, reset right here. Naturally, still point just kind of drops me in. I always look in my life for that when there's situations when I drop in still point, and then there's other ones where the universe just says, whoosh, pulls me in. All right, good work, everybody. Good. The more you practice still point, the more still point continues to be the key thing, as it's the thing that brings us into, it's like the doorway or the gateway into the subtle. So without still point continues to be, to me, the jewel. It is a jewel of profound blessing, for me at least. So, all right. So then after the layers section, we put the essentials section there. Since we love the essentials, everybody loves the essential section. So then there's the essentials, and then there's the custom. That's the format for the different programs. We'll probably do some more training later on that gets into each of the specific programs in each section. For now, that's kind of the overview of that. Then there's the custom section. And I want to reiterate here, I almost put a lot more programs in, and then I pulled it back a little bit. And I want to simply mention that there are frequencies for literally everything you can find nowadays, and they're all over the place. If you look around online on the internet, you'll find a lot of different discussions and lists of different frequencies. So you can put in the custom section any frequency of anything you want to send through this system, and the portal will naturally, the tuner will naturally induce it into a scalar wave. And so say you want to make, you want to pull up the frequencies of vitamins or minerals or almost all natural remedies there's frequencies for nowadays, for crystals, for chakras. You can pull up frequencies for anything you want and put it in the system, and then put a remedy on. You can make remedies. There's a lot of opportunity you can pull up frequencies for for organs, for different health issues, situations. There's so many different things you can do with that. So I wanted to just simply reference. There also is so the portal. So the portal is designed. Eventually, we are developing and considering. It's not definite, though. We're considering. We've been working on a software that goes on a computer. That it can be something that people download that has much more of a range that for starters sends scalar energy out naturally, and also that would then connect to the portal and then to the other technologies we have, and that would have a lot of opportunity for unwinding things and doing different things. It's not definite yet. We've been playing around with it. They'll have a reference that I didn't want to load. We didn't want to load too many things into the portal, so you can add different frequencies and things, or we might have another technology that's designed to work in accord with the portal eventually. Everyone take a nice breath in, stop at the top, reset, hold. Good, clear around. Good. All right, so the next part of the technology, there are two plates. There is a small plate, about 4 inches by about 7 inches, and then there's another one about 7 inches by 11 inches. And these are wood plates. We make them here in Vermont with local, beautiful Vermont wood. They're beautiful. We use only food-grade adhesive. Everything is non-toxic. We use minimal amount, and we stain it with a organic, totally food-based type stain. So that's also made locally here in Vermont. So it's all Vermont made. These are really special, these plates. And I want to say that this is a little different than our traditional scalar technology. I want to explain a little bit about how it works and what the goal of it is. Initially we developed, there's two plates, right, for charging. First, one was for remedies, water, supplements, smaller things, and the other was designed initially for larger, take your whole grocery bag, put it on there, or groceries or fruits or vegetables or a whole plate of food or whatever you want, basically. So once we had them in our hands with the portal and we started playing around with it, we started using the large one a little differently. I'll get into it in a moment. So basically, this is a little different than our traditional scalar technology. Most of our scalar devices we design so that when it goes on, it radiates the scalar. It opens and radiates the scalar in a large kind of direction and area. So most things like the Wi-Fi, we want it to radiate out as far as possible. So this technology is a little different. Our goal in developing it was to have it be much tighter, and in particular to activate the electron spin, to activate the tune, the subtle, very fine, and to tune the subtle and fine things in an effort to activate the ORMUS, the high-spinning electrons. I often refer to alchemy, which is an interest that I've been into for years. Alchemy is the science of understanding the different states of matter and working with them, which is what yogic work is all about. It's the same thing. Yet alchemists typically understand there are 4 key states, right? There's solid, there's liquid, there's gas, and there's ether. And the difference between those states is the electron spin, right? If the electron's spinning very slow, you have dense, solid things, matter, physical things. If it's spinning faster, it goes into a higher spin faster, it turns into liquid. Faster, it goes into gas. When it goes super fast, it goes into a high spin state, often called Brownian motion or ether or ormus. I call it a high spin electron state or ether. And so to me, I've been saying for years that to me health is based on, in other words, the universe is made of ether, right? It's a huge ocean of ether. We're here on the physical planet, right? And the spin state of our physical planet is such that it actually has, it's got a lower quantity of ether. It's like a bubble, and in the bubble there's less of that ether. And yet, to me, this ether is the key to regeneration and to optimum health. And so you can tell when you go like ocean or when you go up on a mountain, right? You can feel that charge, that ether hasn't been. When you go into a city and there's high tension wire, electric wires and Wi-Fi and cell phones and all these other things, right? It degrades that high spinning ether. When you put a little toxins in the body and chlorine and pesticides and foods that are synthetic, right? It degrades the ether a quotient in the body. And so to me, I'm really big into putting things in my body that have a lot of ether, right? I have a whole diet system, which I might touch on here, that eating high-spinning electrons. To me, that's the key food group, right? Food group to me, foods with high-spinning electrons. That's what I like to eat. And so superfoods, foods that have ormus, high-spinning electrons. So this technology is designed to clear things and to activate that high-spinning ormus ether. We're very subtly tuning the ether. It has a totally different effect. We organize our scalar technology circuits a little differently. We formatted them, organized them differently, and then with the wood, the way it goes through the layers and the wood, it has a completely different effect than our traditional technology. Much different, not opening, and it's more of a tighter, subtler, fine, which is really key for this purpose. So what do you simply put some water on it, put some food on it, turn it on, pick the program you want and tune it. It's beautiful. And the larger plate we are using, we had the larger plate when we first started playing around with them. And we just naturally felt like you put your feet on it, and it tunes the ether in the body. If you have a pet, you can put your pet on it. You can put crystals on it. You can put your hands on it. You can put your face on it. It's different than our other technologies. Again, not a medical device, yet the approach when you put your feet on it and run different programs, it's literally like tuning the ether of the whole body. It's beautiful. It's lovely. So that's the Scalar. We've discussed the Scalar, the portal tuning system. We discussed the Scalar tuner, the handheld tuner, and now we've discussed the 2 charging plates. You can clean them super easily with a little bit of natural soap, some natural soap preferably. You don't want to strip the nice coating we have on it. Super easy to use. Simply plug in the probe into line up the arrow, coordinate the arrow in the right way, plug it in with the regular probe connector, and they work. It works great. So that is the system. We also right now have a special superfood kit that we are gifting with some of the packages. So that is it's not one mix. It's 4 of our favorite superfoods that we're using a lot right now. Like our ormus sprays, these are ormus infused, and like our ormus sprays, there's 4 of them. There's an unwind, quantum, activate, and unity. The unwind one is rice, is a lovely rice protein powder that we use. It's really subtle. I love it when I take it. It literally puts me. I look for things, supplements, things that I do. I look for things that put me in still point as soon as I take it. So that to me tells me if I take something and it drops me into still point, that tells me, oh great, that's having the effect assisting, opening me into the subtle yogic state. So that rice protein powder is fantastic. The second superfood that we have is a unique diatomaceous earth that we use. We kind of try a lot of different of any given thing before we find the one that we like. And this particular diatomaceous earth is very nice, and it is a lot like, it holds the quantum energy really nicely, and it is particularly good for detoxification. It cleans stuff out. It's great for clearing parasites out. It's great for pulling toxicity out of the body. It's basically silica, so it's super good for strengthening bones. Anything that has to do with silica, super good. It's great. We love it. I try to drink twice a day some diatomaceous earth. If you want to make sure you clear. A lot of people do parasite cleanses, and when I say parasite cleanses, I mean more kind of pleomorphic cleanup, right? Cleaning up any kinds of pathogens in the body, right? So there's parasites, there's amoeba, there's all kinds of microorganisms that people have going on in their bodies, and along with all kinds of toxins, right? Heavy metals, all kinds of different pesticides, all kinds of junk that is going around in our society, and that people are consuming. And so diatomaceous earth to me is one of those things that just beautifully studies show it destroys parasites and any kind of amoeba, microorganisms, and it also cleans up a lot of toxins. So that's the quantum. The activate is a spirulina. It's actually a blue. It's the blue part from spirulina, so it's got the benefits of spirulina. I'm a big fan of spirulina. This is the blue part of the spirulina, and it is particularly good. There's a studies that shows that the blue spirulina is the only thing that grows blood cells in the bone marrow. It literally grows blood. And it's one of the only natural things that has a study out that shows that it does that. And there are also studies that show it increases stem cell production in the bone, which makes sense that those are both similar kind of functions. So I take a lot of it. It's also great. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's also got a subtle, each of the things I'm telling you about, I tune things so that when I take it, I never simply take things because they're good for the body. Rarely. I like if I'm going to take it and it's going to help something going on, I want it to also induce. I only like to take things if they're helping to put me into a subtle state. When you really like and adore a subtle state, anything that you take that keeps you away from it, it's not that attractive. Same thing with hanging out with people. Same thing with, doing anything, drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee. Why? Because it knocks the subtle state. I don't drink alcohol. Why? It might feel good for a little bit, but then the next day there's no subtle. There's no, I don't, you don't watch a lot of dumb things that aren't so whatever. Why? I want to stay in this nice subtle state. So, all right. So that's everyone drop in right there. Nice. When you drop in, you might notice the more you start to cultivate the lotus state, you might notice as you drop into still point that your condition and your quantum field and your still point starts to shift and open up. Because when you're opening up this pathway of the energy up the spine and opening the lotus, now you're able to start to bring in to the quantum field and into still point and ultimately into the body. You're able to start to bring in qualities from the lotus state. So you might notice it shifts a little your still point experience, so that ultimately when you start to drop in still point, now it's infused with a fuller qualities of your essence, who you are. So the fourth one is unity, and the unity is a beautiful dragon fruit powder. It's a beautiful color. It's so beautiful, and we love it. It's a prebiotic, which means it helps grow good things in your body. It has a beautiful effect on the glands. I take it. It kind of has a nice ambrosia effect. It feels so nice. So these are some of the I'm really, just to touch on diet. I'm big. I try to do every day a smoothie to start. I don't put a lot of stuff in it. I put like some rice milk or oat milk. I like rice milk in my smoothies. And then I try to put some fresh berries. If it's winter, I take some organic frozen berries. I try to put some acai. We like to keep some acai in. If you can get the frozen acai, it's really good. If you want to put some banana, I just simply like berries. And then I like superfoods, right? I put all these things I'm really into rice protein once or twice a day. It helps to, if you're getting all the amino acids, it's like the body gets, it's like a reboot. So I put all these in. You can tune these. We design these in 4 different bottles, so you could put them on the charging plates, and play around with that process of alchemy. That's the goal of offering these, is so that people can start to play around with the tuning things and then making nice drinks. To touch on food, I've been getting some requests lately about what kind of foods to eat. And right now, to me, really important to be putting good things in the body. I am not, I'm big into kind of every so often not eating so much, like at retreats. If you've been to our retreats, it's nice to pull back on food. I often say if people are eating a lot or drinking a lot of coffee or doing other things that aren't good, alcohol or whatever else that's not good or whatever, usually people do those things as a result to pressure or stress, built up compression of stress. Good, everyone drop in still point. So really, really, to me, if you're noticing doing more of any given thing, that's usually a cue in that it's a good moment to kind of unwind a bit, unwind the adrenals, unwind the tailbone, unwind the occipital ridge. Take a moment, drop in still point, clear the field. If you clear your field, and if you're noticing a lot of stress in your life, then it's a good window once or twice a day, do a little unwind process. Take a moment every so often, drop in still point, open the energy along the spine, open the lotus. Try to turn around and decompress through practice, and then notice if you're not drawn as much to the same food or to wanting to drink or to whatever it is the things are that aren't so good for the body that often people use to decompress the stress. Don't get all beat up and feel bad that you're doing this and it's not good. Just notice that you're doing it and that's your cue in that, hey, there's a lot of stress built up. How can you decompress that stress? And so in that process, the more you are able to stay and find and get to and hold a nice in the subtle state, you might notice, well, maybe you don't need to eat the same way, right? So I like to do a smoothie in the morning. A little bit later in the day, I like to do I eat a lot of living food, raw food, living food. A little bit later in the day, try to, maybe a plate. I'm really big into nut butters. I do a lot of sunflower and pumpkin butters are the ones I use a lot. They're the ones that there are certain things in them, and pumpkins are also really good at knocking out parasites. So I try to eat some every day. You can put some banana with it. You can put some, I usually put some berries or whatever fruit you like with it, grapes, whatever you like. I try to also have a little bit of seaweed. They have you can buy packets of little seaweed. Seaweed, when you eat seaweed, it's got lots of ocean. It's from the ocean, right? So it's got lots of all the minerals you need. It's got ormus. It's got all kinds of stuff. A little bit of seaweed every day, and then maybe a little bit later in the day. Basically, when I eat food, I try to always have. I try to eat a little bit of fermented food. Miso is really good. Fermented things are really good. They help build up good probiotics in the body. I also try to do some nutritional yeast. At least once a day, I take a good spoon or two of nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is loaded with nucleotides. Nucleotides are the basis of the DNA of the genetic DNA process. So taking some nutritional yeast, super good. We like to juice a lot. I like to juice. It's a great way just to simply get some super nutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Berries give you antioxidants, so eat lots of berries. And if you can juice a bit, juice. The two things that also I am super into, one is something called glutathione. Glutathione is like this super molecule. It's like an antioxidant that it basically cleans and purifies inside the body more effectively. It's super effective at purification, cleansing, detox. And then the other thing is methylation. Really into methylation. I'm not going to get into this too much now. Methylation is basically the process of activating the liver, activating the body to activate the liver and the genetic kind of optimization. Really, really key for processing things, and also that the body has had to deal with, and also for activating the gene expression, the genetic expression. So basically, I do a lot of beets and a lot of broccoli. I try to eat some beets and broccoli if I can every day. That they're super helpful to the methylation process. So I try to, the things that I'm interested in, I try to make sure I'm taking in. A lot of people go out and buy supplements. I find supplements, they can help, though a lot of supplements it's not totally clear where they come from. So you can try to achieve through eating good natural foods. I'll say one last thing about foods. I've said for years, I'm not big into the whole fat, protein, carbohydrate approach. To me, that's like the old season approach. My strategy is I like to eat. To me, the key is you want to eat. You make sure you get a good amount of amino acids, which is protein, right? Protein. You take protein, you strip it down so it becomes amino acids. Then you build things back up with amino acids. So scratch the whole protein part. To me, amino acids. That's why I do rice protein a lot, and I try to eat a lot of living foods that have tons of amino acids in them, right? So that's the first key. To me, the key group is amino acids. It's super, super important. I also try to eat, of course, good oils is really good. That's why I eat certain nut butters and I use certain good oils. I like for oils, grape oil and apricot oil. They're very high spinning. Super high spinning means they have a lot of ormus, the electrons, lots of ormus. And I also look at electrons. Try to eat foods with electrons, living foods. Foods that don't have electrons, chips, sugar, flour, pasta, things that aren't around anymore that have been cooked, right? There's not a lot of good vital electrons. You want to eat lots of electrons, and then to me, one of the most important food groups to me is high spinning electrons. Ormus ether, which is, of course, why I developed this technology to help activate the high-spinning electrons in things. Aloe vera is loaded with high-spinning electrons. Grapes are loaded. Carrots have lots of high-spinning electrons. Watercress has lots of high-spinning electrons. Lots of things do. Good drink, good spring water. Seaweeds have lots of high-spinning electrons. Spirulina. Good berries, things like acai, lots of good things out there. Good. Well, you all are doing great. Everyone take another nice breath in. Drop right in here. Hold. We got lots of great specials going on, so we're going to send them out. Take one more moment. Drop in here. Hold. Clear the outside of the field. Quantum field. Open the quantum field. Squeeze the root at the base. Squeeze in, out. In, out. See, you can do this process. It doesn't take long. You can do it. And you can do it. You can be in a conversation with someone, not close your eyes and do it. You can do it anywhere. Squeeze root in, out, hold in between. Energy starts to flow up the spine. Tongue at the roof of the mouth. You might find some nectar, ambrosia. Lotus opens. Squeeze the root again, in, out. Squeeze the root again, in, out. The more you do this, it's like a straw that's a little bit at first, how do you say, it's a little pinched, and then as this energy starts to flow up, tongue at the roof of the mouth, this pathway will start to naturally flow. Tongue at the roof of the mouth, open up the lotus at the top. Like anything else, this is practice. The more you practice it, the more you do it, the more that pathway, and the more you do it, you'll find in life, you're kind of going along, and then you'll naturally, being will pull you in to still point. It'll naturally open up the lotus, so that this process starts to happen. Not right now, we're starting it from here, right, from the physical body, and opening it up. The more you start to do it, right, the more it naturally is not a process. This process reverses things and opens us to a state of being. Excuse me. The more we do it, we are offering and dedicating our experience, our reality, to our condition to being, and saying, being, you help, you come, bring your gifts here. You come and help the people that you care about, the people around us that are dear to us and that we care about. So it's been nice to be here with you all. We have, as I mentioned, a bunch of great specials we're going to be sending out, so check in. If not, simply use these tools. If you have our technologies, use them. If you don't have them, use the still point work, the quantum field, the activation, the ambrosia, the lotus body work, lotus state. I want to take a moment to thank our whole team. I want in particular, I'm not sure, you all probably might not have heard, there's been a major issue around parts on the planet, and so Lily, as usual, does an amazing job behind the scenes, and Essie, who is involved in developing everything, she helps in the process, and our amazing support team, and the people who make the products, the people that up there who share the products. We have some amazing people in this global networking family who share the products, who use the products. And we've gotten amazing testimonials so far from the people who have the new products. Thank you to everybody out there who's sharing, who's using, and who's helping people to unwind from stress, from polarity, from the old season, and to help people open up to who they truly are as conscious beings, and to help usher in this new season. So much aloha and love to each of you, and look forward to the next opportunity we get to. And use these tools. Drop in still point. Use them throughout as you progress throughout. Aloha. Much love and blessings, and aloha. Aloha.